Hello, welcome to Nordic Stories. This is the April edition from the National Nordic Museum in Seattle, Washington. And this month we're featuring an author and illustrator from Sweden. And the name of the book is Four Hens and a Rooster by Lena and Olof Landström. So let's open the book. Now, because it's April and springtime, I thought a story about chickens and eggs would be fun. So also at the end, stay tuned on how to make your very own egg basket. So it's a basket made out of recycled cereal box. So you can make this when we're all done. Four Hens and a Rooster by Lena Landström and pictures by Olof Landström, and it is translated by Joan Sandon, and it's from R&S Books. There once was a chicken yard with 4 hens. Can you show me 4? A brown hen, a beige hen, a blonde hen, and a red hen. What a nice little rooster! Oh, there was also a rooster that lived there too. Yes, indeed, said the hens. The rooster paid no attention whatsoever to the hens. He was much too busy with his own important project. The hens were welcome to be in the chicken yard as long as they didn't disturb him with their clucking. Every day, food was served in a long trough. Each one had a place at the trough to peck away at the delicious kernels of corn. Can you make a little bird beak like this? And freshly cooked potato skins, grated carrots, and juicy little dandelion leaves. Above each place there was a sign with a name. The first one said, can you read it? Brown. The second one said, can you read it? Beige. The third one said, blonde. And the fourth one said, red. Can you read that? R-E-D. Good. The fifth one. What do you think the fifth one said? Rooster. But the hens wondered why the rooster's place was so big compared to their places that were so small. They clucked softly to one another so they wouldn't disturb the rooster. Had the rooster ever thought about how big his place was and how small theirs were? They wondered if the rooster would be offended if they asked him about it. One day, when the portions had been on the stingy side, the 4 hens decided to take a chance and ask him. Carefully, they approached the rooster, who was bent over his drawing. You see his plans? Carefully, they approached the rooster. We were wondering if maybe we could, said the brown hen cautiously. We were thinking. Hens shouldn't think, said the rooster. I'm the one who thinks around here, he declared. His voice was cracking. The hens had never seen the rooster get so angry. The beige hen passed out. But we think our places at the feeding trough are so small, said the brown hen. With that, the rooster stomped off. He soon returned with 2 bolster roosters from the neighboring farm, each one on each side. All pumped up and serious, the 3 roosters stepped up close to the brown hen and crowed so loud that she almost lost her hearing. The other hens threw themselves to the ground and said, "We don't think anything. We'll do exactly what you want if that's what you want." The little rooster thought that sounded fine. Stepping high, he went back to his own business. And the two bolster roosters went home. It doesn't seem very nice. The next day, when the hens went to eat, they saw that their places had become even smaller. The rooster had put up new signs that said, "Mine, private, forbidden area," and he was so busy with this new business that he hardly had time to eat. He just wanted to strut around, controlling everything and shouting, "Arr, arr, arr!" He didn't even have time for his project, and it would have to wait. With every passing day, the rooster made the hens' places a little smaller, and after several days, the places were so small, the hens couldn't even squeeze in. And they had to take turns eating for what little food was there. They had all lost weight and their feathers had become ruffled. Well, the hens started having strange dreams at night. The big bad rooster, mine, entirely mine, 100% roosters only. And look, he's sleeping so happily. Finally, the blonde hen, who was the oldest, said, "We can't go on like this. We must do something. Let's take a course in self-esteem." The hens were feeling dizzy when they got off the bus. The instructor passed out power bars and sports drinks. The hens learned all they needed to know in their class about self-esteem. Strength training. 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you lift a weight? 1, 2, 1, 2. Relaxation. Deep breathing and voice training. Feather fluffing and concentration. They worked together in small groups, talking about their feelings. When the hens got home, the rooster was making new signs. Deep breathing, whispered Beige, and all four breathed deeply from their stomachs. Can you do that? Feather fluffing, whispered Blonde, and all four fluffed up their feathers. Can you do your wings out? Concentration, whispered Red. And then together with their deep new voices, the four hens said, "We want our fair share." The rooster knocked over his can of paint. But, he said. "No buts," said the hen. And then Red and Blonde took down all the signs, and Brown got a long measuring tape, and Beige borrowed the rooster's calculator, and they measured the feeding trough and divided it into 5 equal places. So remember, there was 4 hens and 1 rooster. So there would be one for Brown, Beige, do you remember them? Blonde, Red, and Rooster. Well, what a nuisance, thought the rooster, hanging his head. What should I do now? And what's that over there? It was his important project. He had completely forgotten about it. And look at the hens are having a little roast with all the signs. Well, the next day the sun was shining in the chicken yard, and the hens were clucking in their beautiful new voices. And the rooster was working on his project. A new problem had turned up that needed to be solved. And there's his plan. "Oh, what a nice contented rooster you have here," said two hens who came to visit. "Yes, indeed," said brown, beige, blonde, and red. And then they invited the guests to help themselves to all the delicious kernels of corn, freshly cooked potato skins, grated carrots, and juicy little dandelion leaves, that their hearts desired. And that is the end. Wow. That book was called Four Hens and a Rooster. Now, interesting, there was a lot in this book about being fair and making things equal for everyone. I like stories that help me remember that that's important, right? And now, remember, you can make this basket. We have a craft today. So if you want to gather your materials, you'll need some kind of old cereal box, something that's thin cardboard, or you could make it out of regular paper if you want. I put a little decoration on the outside of mine. You could do whatever you want, or you could just keep it plain like this, because look, it's a little basket that you could put eggs in. So Easter is coming, or you could also put a flower pot in here and give it to someone for May Day. So it's a little spring basket that you could use for lots of purposes. So stay tuned and we'll make it together.
All right, so we're going to be making a basket today, and this would be like an egg basket that you could use for Easter. You can make a little display. You can make it out of a cardboard box, like a cereal box. So if you have a cereal box, just go ahead and make it flat, and then you'll need a glue gun, and it helps if you have a paper cutter, but if not, you can just use scissors and measure out your cuts. You're going to be cutting this into strips. If you don't have a lightweight cardboard around, you could just use regular paper, and in that case you'll just use a glue stick to put your strips together to make the basket. So let's get started, and I'll show you how it's cut up into strips and glued together. So I have a paper cutter. This is a really inexpensive little one. I definitely recommend picking up one of these if you don't have one. But again, you can always use your scissors. What you'll be doing is measuring a 1/2 inch for each strip for the width. So right about here. And with my paper cutter, I can see where I've got a 1/2 inch indicator right there. So just take your cardboard, or you could use your plain paper, and you're going to line it up to the 1/2 inch mark and hold it down. And then slide it down to create a strip. So to make the basket, you'll need 8 strips that will be for actually the hoops of the basket, or the main body of the basket, and then you'll need 2 strips that will become part of the rim around the top of the basket, and 1 strip for the handle. So now we get to put it together. And again, if you're making it with the lightweight cardboard, you'll want to be using a low temp glue gun to attach things. Now this is where I'm going to flip the pieces of the cardboard, because this colorful side, I think I'm going to use it as the inside of the basket. So the kind of plain is on the outside, but you could do whatever you want. I think sometimes when we recycle things, it's fun to see what little pictures we end up getting. So again, like, don't feel like you have to go out and buy anything for this craft. You can actually just recycle with what you have. To find the midpoint of your strips, you'll give them a little bend and a tiny little pinch, so that when you start laying them out, first you start, you'll see kind of the center point. Put a little bit of glue there, and first just make a cross like that. And then you're going to keep adding strips, taking each section and crossing it again. And as you do that, you're going to start creating the base of your basket. And you'll start to see it come together. Again, you could do all kinds of different things with different colors. You could alternate strips if you wanted it to look a little different, or if you like the natural look, you could do it the way I am, so that on the outside you're just seeing the natural color of the cardboard. Oops, look at that. Put the glue down here. And you keep on doing this till you have 8. Push down a little bit because the glue kind of will start to pile up until we've got 8 strips. And then we'll keep 3 remaining. So I'm making an extra strip. Okay. And then you take one of the strips that you've bent in half, and maybe let's do this one, and you only need half of that to help make the brim around the top of the basket. So just fold it in half, open it up, and where you see the crease, you're just gonna cut. And then you're going to add that to the end of this other full strip. And then take one of the strips and again I'm going to make it like this. You can kind of bend it. And then attach it, pressing down, and bending up the opposite strip and attaching it here. Or you could attach it on the inside. It's either way, just whatever you do, I guess, just be consistent all the way around. And then once you've got all the interior parts attached, then we'll make the last one be the handle, and I'll show you what it looks like. And here we have the finished product. It's a little cardboard basket. It's my first one, so it's maybe not perfect, but I think that that's what gives it a lot of its charm. You could add some little decorations if you have any paper embellishments around, or if you want to do something that's Easter themed or spring themed. It's a great little gift basket. You could fill this up with some grass and then put inside some little candies or some gifts. You could use it for May Day. You could put a little planter in here with a little plant coming out. So I think it's a great way to use a cereal box, and also a little bit of skills of lining up strips and cutting them all out to shape. And then you can even adjust kind of the shape of the basket by just pushing in on things and bending the cardboard a bit. So there you have it, a little egg basket.